Welcome to everybody. This is Leslie from Brantford News. It's May 9th, and we've got a lot of snow falling. The weather is very strange. It kind of matches the political climate in Canada right now with this communism that's been imposed upon us. I'm in Toronto right now. It's about 20 to 2 on Saturday. There's a good turnout today. I believe there might be over 100 people here. There's a Canadian flag flying upside down, which from my understanding is the international sign of distress. And our nation is in distress presently because of people like Doug Ford and Justin Trudeau and Jason Kenney and all the other provincial premiers that seem to be walking in lockstep with the globalists, which is another way of saying Zionist, Bolshevik, communist. Yeah, they're not your buddy. I'm just going to walk around a little bit. Paul Fromm is here today, showing support for the Canadians who want to take their country back, and there's the man right there from the back. It's good to see so many people out. I would really like to see our military intervene on our behalf and bring these supposed elected representatives to justice. This lady with the no vaccine sign. There are a lot of Maple Leafs upside down right now. It's unfortunate, but that's the situation in Canada right now. We are definitely in distress. I've run for office a lot in this country, and I've seen the apathy of the citizens, but right now I think that things may be changing a little bit. It's good to see Canadians showing some backbone. Good for them. Well done, Canada. Would you like to be on YouTube? Yeah, I have a channel called Rebellion Party and Brantford News. Would you like just to tell the people what you're doing here? Is that okay? Or? As long as you don't lose your job over, I understand what it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, did you want to be on or no? No problem, I don't want to.
I'm already on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
okay, well, here we go. Hi sir, how are you? My name's Leslie Borey. I'm with Brantford News, also with a channel called Rebellion Party. Do you have anything to say?
Yes, I'm glad that everyone else is coming out today. We need to stay strong as a community and screw Ford, screw all this stuff, all this media.
Yes, thank you very much. That's my message as well.
Screw this too.
No 5G, yeah. I'm very suspicious about the 5G.
I'm scared about that too.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of my government than I am any disease.
Yes.
Any disease at all.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time, sir. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yeah, it's good to see you here. Oh, hey. Right on.
After about 3-4 months of detox, I immediately started.
It's a cold day and people still came out. This is really good to see. All just wander around a little bit and see what's going on. People are honking. That's really good. Nice. Nice. Fuck Ford, that cocksucker. Calling us fucking bunch of yahoos the goof. Fuck him. We're Canadians. We're not gonna let some fucking wimp like him keep us from going outside when we want to. He's sure as fuck not gonna put anything in our arms. I think the leaders should be in the lockdown to start. All right, here we go. We got Paul Fromm here. Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm very well.
I got you from behind earlier. Now we can talk to the man face to face.
I had to comment that this is it's quite interesting that this is the 9th of May and it's snowing. And didn't they tell us there's something about global warming?
That's it. I guess the carbon tax is working. I think I underestimated Trudeau.
Yeah, well, if the carbon tax has worked so well, I guess we can expect it to be abolished on Monday.
That's it. The way it's going now, we're going to be going into an ice age. What do you think of the turnout today, Paul?
I think it's tremendous. I'd say there's probably 300 people here, and there's.
Wow.
This wasn't the best weather, but I think it just shows how many people are concerned. And just look at the crowd. There are younger people, middle-aged people, older people. A lot of people are really concerned about the loss of rights. Yeah, you know, the fact that the tyrannical mayor of the city of Toronto would close High Park so people cannot see the cherry blossoms. Is appalling.
It's all part of the Zionist production, Paul, to convince people. Same with the mask. That's my thoughts on that.
It's also though you know, I want to say, like, you know, grim little Greta Thunberg. How dare you? How dare he close our park? The taxpayers paid for this. It's not his blasted park. It's our park.
Oh, you're right about that. I picked up a couple of her phrases as well. They're ruining our lives.
Well, in this case, I mean, she's just a neurotic, but they are ruining our lives. Imagine cooping people up, and many people, you know, don't have the luxury of a reasonably nice home. They're living in a tiny apartment. They're cooped up, and actually, most of the time, that's not healthy. You know, you should be able to get out and get fresh air.
Absolutely.
And go to a park. I mean, there are parks. And but what bothers me is we're being infantilized. You know, we are treated as adults. We are treated as children. Where I live now in Hamilton, they have closed walking trails and steps up the escarpment and parks. And their argument is, well, people would not social distance. Well, I think that ought to be their choice. And it's instead of fining people and closing parks, they should. We need to end this lockdown. That's basically it. The vulnerable people in our society are the people older people mostly, who are quite ill in these terrible retirement homes. I mean, some of those homes were terrible long before the coronavirus. We should do everything possible to protect them. Perhaps even in some cases move them out to other accommodations. Yes, protect them. And, you know, if you are otherwise vulnerable, say with respiratory problems or whatever, yeah, stay home, isolate. That makes sense. But we shouldn't have to shut the whole society down.
No, not at all. This is the first time in history where the healthy were quarantined.
You know, President Trump, whom I admire, has a line he uses at many of his meetings. He'll say, and you people in the front row, you members of the press, you lie, you lie, you lie. Well, our politicians have lied to us. You know, it was back near the end of March that the premier of the province in that building told us that if they didn't do anything, we could have more between 100 and 200,000 deaths by the end of April. You remember him saying that? No,
like that,
even
sure.
Then we were already doing something. But okay, he said. Yeah. But even if we do things, he said, we could lose between 3,500 and 13,000 people by the end of April. Okay, we're now May the 9th, fewer than 500 have died. And that's sad. I mean, I'm sorry for anybody dying, but we were lied to. People were terrified by bullshit. And our federal leaders, Trudeau and that Chinese woman, Theresa Tam, they've been setting the policy. Now, once we became aware of the coronavirus in January, people said, well, that's coming from China. We ought to stop travel from China. Oh, no. For nearly the next 2 months, all they did was wag their fingers at us and call us racists.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what they should have done. So they got it wrong on that one. Eventually, there has been a travel restriction. And she was parroting the communist Chinese line from the World Health Organization that masks are not the solution.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. Masks are not the solution to everything, but they do some good. So things that might have helped us early on, they didn't do. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of these deaths are on them. They got the policy dead wrong, and now we're supposed to believe their latest no. Shut us, end the lockdown.
Yeah, Paul, I know a Chinese guy, and he said as soon as he heard it, he said, shut the border immediately. So I suppose he's a bigot too, eh?
Yeah, well, the country that has done the best is China. Is Taiwan. They're Chinese, and they heard early on, probably in late November, that there was something bad going on in Wuhan. They closed the border, and they were very intelligently decided that they would test people for fever. That's a sign that there may be a problem. Okay. If you've got a fever, they send you off for a real test, and if you do have the virus, they medicate you and quarantine you. They've lost hardly anybody. They haven't shut their economy down. The bars are open, the restaurants are open, the stores are open, the schools are open. They chose the right policy. So, I like to say, it has nothing to do with that old bogeyman of racism. The Chinese on Taiwan got it massively right.
The Swedes got it right.
It's our government, led by absolute fools or worse, that got it wrong. This is just one big power grab.
Oh, most certainly, Paul. This is something I would have expected a foreign power after paratroops dropped on us to pull something like this, not our supposed elected representatives. These are supposed to be the people that run the country on our behalf, representing us with our best interests at heart, and basically they're acting like a bunch of commie guys. I didn't want to swear in your presence, but basically I'm pretty sore about all this, Paul. I'm a big nationalist, and when I see these commies taking over our country, and they've been doing it for a long time, brainwashing our people into voting conservative liberal. This isn't going to stop until we wake up to that fact and start finding out who the bad guys really are and become the law in our own nation. Because these guys are not the law. These guys are the people trying to do us harm.
I think it's time for Canadians to take back their country. I would hope that angry Canadians or Torontonians might decide on Mother's Day just to show up en masse in Hyde Park and say, hey, Tory, it's not your park, it's our park. I really am horrified that the politicians passed this sweeping police state legislation that if you refuse to identify yourself to an enforcement officer, they can fine you $1,000 or put you in jail for 6 months. I mean, in what fucking dictatorship does that occur?
Exactly.
Right here. And our useless press didn't even tell us this legislation was going through.
No.
It went through so fast. We are in the process of a massive erosion of our rights.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And so many of the rules make no sense at all, even given their given their explanations.
Absolutely.
Like, why should you have to line up outside a drugstore? They let in maybe 2 people at a time. It's a huge place, and you ask, well, why am I in the shape line? Coronavirus. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. I'm an adult. I know I should keep 6 feet away from the person ahead of me. I'm able to shop for whatever, aspirin or hand sanitizer, without falling over the person ahead of me. Treat me like an adult instead of treating me like a moron.
Maybe they should open Queen's Park in a liquor store somewhere where you can't get coronavirus. It seems like, or maybe a Walmart, eh? Sir, would you like to say something?
It's
unbelievable.
The nanny state that they're trying to create. It already was a nanny state, but now they're treating us like, all of us like children, and it's total tyranny by these governments. Like, it's got to stop. We got to take back our rights. Like, these guys are totally out of control, and this guy here, Mr. Ford, I voted for him. I am so disappointed. The guy speaks to us like we are idiots, calling us yahoos.
Yes,
I've been a responsible tax-paying citizen of this country for over 40 years, and I got that clown up there who can barely fit in his goddamn suit calling me a fucking yahoo.
How about his fucking new coat? His big first line.
Oh yeah, he looks like the president. Looks like he got off of Air Force One. Dougie, you've lost touch with your people.
Dictators usually wear uniforms like that, don't they? Like
Doug Ford looks like he's the four-star general in charge of Ontario, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Dougie Ford. He always talked about the gravy train. Now Dougie Ford is the gravy train. He's gained about 40 pounds, 50 pounds since he's taken power, and he's going to be the next leader of the Liberal Party in Ontario. If he isn't a Liberal now, I don't know what the hell is a Liberal.
That's it. He's on the commie train.
Holy Christ.
He's driving the commie train.
Like yes, Doug. Robbie's rolling around in his grave.
Yeah, man. We don't have to.
And then we got our friend Mr. Trudeau. He's been on the silver spoon ever since he was born. Now it's a golden spoon, right? And he's used this opportunity to steal from the Canadian people. He's throwing money all over the world to the WHO. Donald Trump, who I'm not a big fan of, he at least had the presence of mind to stop the funding of the WHO. They're a bunch of criminals. And our head of health, Dr. Tam, she should be tied for.
She's got a pretty sweet attitude over there, buddy.
She should be tried for treason. Same with Trudeau. If Trudeau hasn't performed treasonous acts against the people of Canada, I don't know who has in the history of the world. The guy is an absolute criminal.
Well, how about Harper selling China our oil fields? How was that when he was in power, right? He sold Nexen. That was a Daylight Energy and the Athabasca Oil Corporation to CNOOC, the Chinese National Oil Company. That was unbelievable.
I did not know.
I said that's death penalty territory, man.
It's government out of control. That's all it is. It's total government out of control. Speaking of Harper, they're the ones who sold off the lucrative tax-paying 407. They sold that Harris, not Harper, Harris.
$4 billion property for
$3 billion,
yes,
and it's nothing but a cash cow. It makes more money than the LCBO, if you can believe that, right?
Well
that's the kind of political tyrants we have running our country now. They care nothing about the taxpayers, the good citizens of this country. They're basically out for themselves and to line their pockets. Trudeau is going to become richer from being Prime Minister than anybody in the history of the world.
Sir, what you said makes me very happy to hear that you realize that you did something that wasn't so good at election time, and you probably will never do that again. Well done, sir. I appreciate that. That's good. A lot of other Canadians will. There's a lot of people now that are looking around to see what they did at election time and thinking how much harm they've done. You know what I mean? Just by accident. Because no one told them this. This is a blind side. You didn't vote for this. Nobody did because no one someone said this was on the platform. Did you know that they're going to make it illegal to talk about communism? Will Boom in Brantford, where I ran, Bill 168, okay, because of the International Holocaust Remembrance Association definition of anti-Semitism, you can't mention communism because Jewish people were the ones that ran it, okay? And they're going to say that we can't talk about the people that killed over 66 million Russians, all right? That's total bullshit.
Free speech is dead, man. You can't say nothing.
It's a foreign government, you know, like Israel. They can't criticize them. Or you can't. My parents came from Hungary, and they used to get in trouble for criticizing their own government. These idiot conservatives, okay, they want to throw us in jail for criticizing Israel. What the hell's that, man? If that isn't in death penalty territory, I don't know what is, okay? That's a foreign government. You can't criticize that. During the Cold War growing up, no one had even suggested that to us at all because they know what the reaction would have been. Now things are a little bit different, but it's good to see people that grew up in your generation coming out here as well. And the young guys are with us as well.
Why is it though when I talk to my friends and relatives and everything, they look at me like I'm retarded?
Oh, it's because they haven't figured it out yet.
No, it's because the mainstream media has got them so dumbed down and brainwashed that they think anybody else who speaks anything else but what they hear on the mainstream media, they're considered idiots and yahoos by Doug Ford here. Can you imagine a premier of our province calling people yahoos that are out here protesting against things that they don't believe in, that they know to be wrong, that they know to be against the good of the people, against free speech, you know, and you got Doug Ford calling us yahoos.
Well, I gave him a few words myself earlier. I figured if he's calling names, fuck him, I'm calling him a few things myself. It's not beneath me, believe me, buddy. I'm from Brantford. Yep.
It's just unbelievable. Like, I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed in the leaders of this country. It makes my heart ache.
Well, it's good to see that you showed up and became your own hero, okay? Well done. You're my hero now, too. Well done. It's nice to have met you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Good day. See you, sir.
Showing and nothing further. Never exponentially growing.
Would you like to say a few words on? No? Okay. It's good. It's nice that you're out, though. It's very nice.
5,000 freedom.
Here's Polly flying the ensign. That's Canada's first national flag. It was replaced by the maple leaf, I believe, in the 60s. It's still, as far as I understand, an official flag. And some people try to associate that with some kind of white power or something like that, but basically it's just the old ensign.
Right?
There's someone else recording the moment.
I used to be a process server, so I used to be in the courts all the time. And it's so true what happens because courts are only open for emergency hearings, and it's up to the judge to determine what's considered an emergency.
Exactly.
That is so true.
I know.
That's a sweet picture. Someday, maybe someday. Nice flag.
Thanks, dude.
Right on. I'm glad you're here. Fucking right. Hi, how are you? How's it going?
Good, how are you, man?
Good.
Some of these signs are pretty awesome, eh?
That's like they are.
Yeah, like take a look at that Justin Trudeau sign.
I just commented on the picture of him hanging. Or him hang soon. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, man.
Him and Harper and a few other. We can go back in history and clean up a bit of the garbage.
They love
from the
this,
past.
man. It's the authoritarian wet dream is the pandemic.
You know what? It's awesome though in a way because they pulled the wrong move here, I think, eh?
Yeah.
Talking to a friend of mine, we were saying that they're going to make mistakes. Well, they made a shitload of mistakes. It's wonderful. You got to see the people reacting.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I hope they push it some more, but I don't want to see more where people suffer.
Yeah.
But I want to see the change, a permanent change, to make sure this commie shit doesn't ever happen
No,
again.
Trudeau loves the commies, man. He's talking about how their basic dictatorship is something to admire.
Oh yeah,
You know
well,
what? Fuck that shit.
exactly.
That's not what we're all about.
No, Communism is not a worker's paradise at all. It's got nothing to do with that. Yeah. I'm a working man myself, you know, so I like labor laws that serve me.
I swear I got this thing already back in February before they were testing. And then, again, I got exposed to it at my office. So I took a couple weeks off. I called the government to see if I can get a test. They're like, oh yeah, well, if you're not sure, don't come to the testing center because you're going to get it if you come to the center. So it's a cop-out. It's either you go and you get tested, you get turned negative, and then you got to isolate another 2 weeks because you get it when in the center, or you fucking just get it and don't know. So no one knows. It's like Schrodinger's virus.
There's some talk about that test as well, how they're not only taking a sample from you, but they're leaving something behind in you. It comes out of a liquid, I believe. I might be wrong though.
There's all the there's all the fucking a lot of faulty tests and stuff too, right?
That's right. Like everybody has the coronavirus. Everybody, if you've had a cold, you've got the antibodies for a coronavirus.
Yeah.
So everybody would technically test positive anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So what
honestly,
the hell?
that's what they got. They need to start testing for the antibodies, if anything. That way people can actually know if they can go out or not.
Well,
and like, fuck, if you're 80 years old and you test negative for the antibodies, well, shit, I guess you're staying in for a little while. Yeah. But for the rest of us, like, what the hell?
Yeah, you're right. They shouldn't quarantine the healthy.
Yeah.
Good point.
I've heard that basically if you're not cold, if you're not sick, then basically it's not a quarantine. It's just like a government excuse to keep you on lockdown. Like unless you're like 65 years old, unless you're sick, you have like diabetes or whatever, there's no reason why you can't go out inside and go back to work and stuff like that. Because of this bullshit lockdown stuff, like everyone here is suffering. Like not just like their civil liberties, but also in an economic sense.
Absolutely. People are worried about what they're going to eat, where they're going to live. They're worried about not paying the rent. I understand this.
Yeah.
Even in the best of times, we had a shitty economy. Let me tell you that. This economy was going to crash anyway.
Yeah.
This is just an excuse to get them out of trouble. To give them something to blame it on as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to use it for a few other things, I believe, too. Like, these things haven't materialized entirely yet, but these are my suspicions.
They already did it with the guns, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're trying on that one. But those guns, are, like a lot of the ones were already restricted and they're already registered, right? So it makes it easy pickings for them to take them off the streets.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unregistered firearms out there still too.
Yeah.
The question is, do Canadians have the balls to use them? Do they know who to use them on when it comes time? You know what I'm saying? That is a question that we have to ask now, because this isn't democracy anymore. Okay, I ran for office many times. Try to do this in a peaceful manner.
Nice.
And thank you. And I tell you, they're not fair when it comes to letting the public know who their choices are. The newspapers don't advertise my platform anywhere near as much as they do the communist parties. And you can pick any one of the big ones, and they're all commies if you boil it all down, believe me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the only real right-wing party that was in the last election was the PPC, but there was so much optics. Like the mainstream media, they just went out and attacked the public image of the PPC. That not many people were even voting for them, and the Conservative Party, like they don't really have the balls to be conservatives either. The way I see it, it's like Andrew Scheer is just another Justin Trudeau with the color blue.
I used to say Andrew Scheer is commie queer.
Commie queer?
I'm not a gay hater or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it rhymed and it seemed to suit the negative aspect of everything. I figured, hey, I'll throw it at him.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Yeah, I hate those guys, man. I hate conservatives. I hate liberals. I hate Green Party, and I hate the fucking NDP. That cocksucker. Fucking the president of the provincial and federal NDP is one guy named Miles Hosey from the Brantford Expositor. Mentioned this in an article.
Yeah.
And he tried to have me excluded from a debate. I'm an independent candidate because they don't like my views, okay? Because I talk about banking, but they call it racism, right? Because I mentioned that the Germans used their proper banking system to fix their country.
Yeah.
Okay? It's got nothing to do with any kind of racist bullshit, all right? These guys are fucking cunts. And they lie to us at every turn, these bastards. I don't like them at all. I said we should give them the death penalty. I've been saying it for years now. And that's a big turnaround for me because I didn't believe in that first.
Yeah.
And it's not even, it has nothing to do with murderers, like the regular kind of criminals. We're talking about high treason here.
Yeah.
These are the guys I bring it back for. Because they pretty much betrayed us in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be hard to do things that you do, and you won't have to feel bad about getting the wrong person because you know they're guilty.
Yeah.
And same with the media. They've been lying to us big time about this shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things. People walk around thinking that banks lend out your savings when they don't, when they actually print money, the banks do, right?
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that. So most people wouldn't know what the simple solution to fixing our economy is because of the lie the bank or the media presents to them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, thank you for coming out today. Do you have anything else to say?
I just want things to go back to normal as soon as possible so I can get back to having fun and partying.
Good for you. Good call. Me too. I don't mind. I'm an old guy. I don't mind a little bit of that myself. I hope it gets better than it was before. I hope we have a better banking system than we had. To pay for all, well, not pay for all this debt, to get rid of this debt by just nationalizing the banks. Then we wouldn't owe them anything.
Oh, yes.
And then we can start printing money and backing it with labor.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay tax anymore.
Yeah.
Because labor's worth a lot more than gold. Ask what's worth more, if a doctor saves your life or if you got a chunk of gold beside you. I think his labor, to me, is far more valuable, or hers, pardon me, than a piece of gold. Just like someone said that Hitler said that Germans don't eat gold, they eat potatoes, right? So it's one of those. I'm not a big Hitler guy because he attacked America and he declared war. So to me, I think he threw the game at that point, or maybe he just was that stupid. I'm not sure. I don't want to, a lot of people have a lot of respect for him, but I'm not sure about the end game with that guy.
Yeah.
He did do a lot of good economic things in Germany.
All the videos that have been taken down from YouTube, except that Rashid.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
I know. He's supposed to have exposure.
How's it going? Let's see your sign, man.
Yeah, come and take
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, right on.
The way he's gonna get him.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, I hope.
People are my family right now, because my family.
That's the last thing they want to do.
These are families that belong to camps like it's all connected. DNA collection.
I want to say thank you for everyone who came here. You are not afraid. You are the true Canada. How many times I was told, get out of my country, because you don't have the same beliefs the corrupt government in this country is pushing on us now. I am Canada. I have the right to be here. I'm speaking for this country. I'm not the invader. Thank you all. And you know what? Keep your spirits high. No action is too small. Even if you smile at someone on the street, that's already an action. If you can tell somebody you have a good thought, this is an action. Meditate. Do something. Thank you.
Well said. That's a statue of Sir John A. Macdonald from the rear. All right. Is on YouTube?
You need to tell
You're signed to
people
be on
what's
YouTube?
in vaccine.
There you go.
There's a lot of different ones, so it's confusing.
Well, this one specifically, I know. They have the
hybrid electrodes.
It actually changes your DNA.
It's called hydrogel from
Okay.
DARPA.
Thank you.
It's a nanotechnology that they put inside a gelatin. So when it gets into your body, it spreads out, and they zap with a specified electrical current, turns it on. One guy goes in and starts replicating.
It's a very encouraging turnout
That part of sleep.
on a really bad day.
Come alive so many times, it becomes sleep.
Would you like to be on YouTube, sir?
Sure.
There you go. Well, do you want anything to say, or just?
No, I'm cool. Just in support of it all.
Well done. Thank you very much, sir.
When people disagree with them.
Do you have anything to say on? Would you like to say something to YouTube at all, or no? Oh. How's it going? So you got the distress signal going, do you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What do you think about that dummy calling us a bunch of yahoos?
Hey,
I'm a Yahoo.
I'm a Yahoo.
Yeah.
I'm a Yahoo.
Maybe I'm half Yahoo and I'm
That's you.
It's a badge of honor, man.
What's that?
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
To be complained about by one of our nation's enemies, it must mean that we're doing something right, eh? Gotta like that. Anything like that.
I mean, he's the
Man,
fucking
I
one
loved
that's
when,
supposed to
he
be
said-
sticking
I
up
loved the
for
comment
us.
when he said,
Well, yeah,
pack
that's-
my bags.
What was
Yeah.
that?
I love the comment what he said, pack my bags, you know?
I didn't hear that comment he made. No,
Oh, he made a comment like he
yeah.
wants to pack my bags and move me to another country or something.
Yeah, everyone who does this has
Because
to
it's
pack our bags.
disrespect.
Oh, really? Maybe we should
Yeah.
pack his bags and go to the death
Yeah.
row, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Waiting for his sentence to be carried out, perhaps
Yeah, that's
one day.
it.
That might happen. Who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be all right.
I would like that myself. I'm not a fan of our big parties, any of them.
Oh man, you don't want to get me started on the correctional system. Trust me. Trust me. You don't want to get it started at all.
Well, if they had their way, we'd all get a close-up view of it. I think these guys. I don't
Fuck,
trust them very much.
that's exactly the thing. They're all trying to put you in there.
Yeah.
They're trying to put you in these little boxes where they can control you like sheep.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. For sure, dude. Like I've been in fucking prison like here and there fucking like half my life. And they just do it repeatedly, you know, with that revolving door system so that they can control people like sheep, right?
Well, you're being a very good citizen right now. You're here protesting peacefully.
Oh, definitely, man. I love this. I love this. This is like, this is
good.
freedom at its fucking best, man.
It is.
It is. It really is. Like, everybody's fucking having a good time. There's fucking, you know, there's no fights. There's no problems.
No.
It's fucking great.
It is.
Yeah, and we need a Second Amendment.
We do.
Canadians need a Second Amendment. We need a Second Amendment so that we can protect ourselves from foreign or domestic, how do you call it?
That's right. Right now, it's attacked by both foreign and domestic. They're
Yes,
working
that's
together,
why
these
we
guys.
need a Second Amendment. We need the right to bear arms.
I know. Would you support the formation, depending on what the platform is, of a firearms Labour Party for Canada?
Yes. That's it.
To arm the
Yeah.
workers, the real Canadians.
Definitely.
Maybe we should start one, a firearms Labour Party. What do you think, boys?
C3, yo.
I've got some
C3.
experience running. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Get the logo right there.
Yes, sir. I've seen you guys on TV before.
For sure, man. Proud Boys, fucking Soldiers of Odin, we got it all.
Hey, people join for the best of reasons, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
For
It's got to
sure.
watch the leadership in those things, my friend. You never know who's leading them, right? But
Patriotism, though, like, even still, like, you gotta be yourself and you gotta do it, you know?
no, you guys are doing it. Well done. You guys from around here?
Yeah, we're right up here. We're right
Okay.
around here.
I'm
yeah.
from Brantford, so I drove in a ways today.
Yeah, we're all locals.
I came in from a couple people with a couple people from Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, my channel is Rebellion Party, also Brantford News. I've got a couple of them going.
Oh,
the
nice.
Rebellion Party channel I've been saving for that very thing, that Firearms Labor Party idea. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, fucking right. You should look me up on Facebook.
I don't get Facebook, but what's your name?
Nick. Yeah.
If other people
Nick_Blanche1@hotmail.com. Blanche, BLANCHE1@hotmail.com.
Okay, Blanche. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
will see. Right on.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
sure, man. Fucking, I'm big up in this shit, man. Like, I'm big up in this fucking, I want it, I want our country back.
I want it better than it was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was shit before this.
Exactly. It's been shit for a while because of the fucking liberals.
And
right?
the conservatives, man. Don't worry. Harper sold China our fucking oil fields, okay?
That's true.
He let the purchase go through. I want to be very accurate. He could have stopped it, okay?
That's
Imagine
true.
1970 something. I grew up in the Cold War. If some politician said that, hey, I'm going to sell part of fucking Alberta or let them have part of Alberta to the Chinese, the commies, I think there would have been a little issue there, okay?
That's
so
true.
I don't see people got to start breaking away from that mold, that conservative liberal bullcrap. I think.
Holy shit.
He did it again.
What? What happened? You got the head down now? Yeah. He's speaking, right? Huh? The guy who's speaking?
No, the one beside him.
Oh. Okay.
I better go make sure he's okay.
All right, man.
This is a fucking very bad idea for him.
Good luck, guys. Thank you for coming.
Anyway, I like it. So I'm not upset with it. It's really flexible. I work from home.
And there's Queen Park in the background. Queen's Park, pardon me. That's the Ontario Legislature. It's not legislating too much right now. We're not in a big democratic way anyway. It's more of a provincial dictatorship building, the palace perhaps. Like Ceausescu's castle, if there was such a place. Well, it's a cold day today. People showed a lot of courage and determination to come out into this. It's good to see.
That's okay. That's okay. My nose is running too. Just thought your hands were cold. That's all. I know. Thank you very
I don't know how someone gets a face like that.
You guys know this?
Oh my God.
Hi. How's it going? Good. Hey, right on. How are you?
Go online, sign the petition.
I don't think they're going to care what we do. I think it's going to have to be something else. Maybe it's going to be like a Frankenstein movie. We're going to need our torches and pitchforks to get them out, perhaps.
Well, at least with a petition with signatures on it, they can't go on the news and tell us we don't know what we're talking about.
That's right. It will get some publicity, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for recording.
Well, thank you very much. Do you have anything else to say to the people at all? Or?
More people should come. Until parks and children can go outside, we should keep this up.
I'm amazed the response here, or the turnout seems very good here.
It was a little bit more last week.
Was it really?
Just because it was warmer.
Oh, well, that's pretty good considering the weather's so
There's
bad
about
today.
600 people here last week, except CBC said there was one.
One person?
100.
Oh, 100. Oh, 600. Hey, that's
There's
pretty
about
impressive.
600.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you came out. Thank you
so
very
much.
You're
Thank
a
you.
good Canuck. Thanks. Hi, how are you?
Hello, how you doing?
Would you like to be on YouTube? And
I'm on everything else. Might as well make
all right,
myself
there we go
more
then.
out there. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
At least this time I was asked. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I totally consider it.
Thank you for coming out and making sure that you got us out on social media.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
I've got a couple channels going. I got Rebellion Party and also Brantford News. I'm from Brantford, so that's
Awesome sauce.
that'll explain that.
I like the names.
Thank you. I was hoping to start a party one time called the Rebellion Party. Whoops. And that was way before this stuff. Woo! That's really good to see all the support from the people driving by as well.
You know what? It gives us some motivation while we're out here, right?
Yeah, because in the media they're beating people like us up. So it's nice for the real Canadians to give us that real response, that real help, that emotional support that's good in a time like this for people, right? It lets you know that you're not doing this for nothing.
Exactly, especially today, because it's frisky. It's a real Canadian day today.
It is. I dressed up pretty warm today.
I see you. I see you got the layers. That's very smart. So
That's
clearly,
it,
I
I'm
was the broken Canadian today. Came unprepared, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that we're here. Very proud moment. The energy is beautiful.
It is very nice here. Everybody's real friendly. It's
beautiful connection, and we have multiple groups here, and everybody's here connected.
This could be nice if Canadians come together. We can beat our governments, eh?
You know what?
Nice.
It would be nice to see numbers because a lot of even though there's still a lot of unhappy people, they're not here. That concerns me. It means they're still comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just hope that in due time, with us coming out here every weekend, that they'll know that we need them too, and for them not to feel scared. It's a part of people being ticketed, the fear of being arrested, right?
That's right.
That paralyze people and makes them figure out a way to be okay with selling their rights out. And then you got us who's like, you know what, they're taking them, we might as well get outside anyways, right?
Exactly.
So we'll
done.
see how that goes, and maybe with due time, we're in week 3 right now, and we've had no interactions badly with the police or peace officers. And with that, on a weekly basis, let's hope that our numbers will increase, right? It's just praying, and then the love that we can portray to our fellow Canadians.
Hopefully in the smaller towns like where I come from, maybe we should start something like this too. Right now I just gathered here with the masses.
Let me tell you something, even a number of 5 is still a number better than 0.
1's better than 0.
Last year I hosted a rally too, and there were 6 of us. And we were a small group, but we were mighty, and we occupied Dundas Square, Yonge and Dundas Square, and we did it.
Well done.
And
what were you talking about?
It was just Charter of Rights, and then the stripping of charters, and then forced vaccinations, and just medical freedom breaches, just like things that are mandatory, that should be mandatory for us in Canada. We're a first world country.
Yeah.
We're super blessed, and we have more than enough resources and money, and there's no reason why charters and rights should be stripped even a little bit.
Well, in Doug Ford's Ontario, you do not have the right to your own opinion. You know that, right?
No,
James Sears and Leroy St. Germain, they both got thrown in jail for hate crimes against women and Jews. How's that sound? Crazy, right? They just had
at the end of the day, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. Not everybody's entitled to like it.
They weren't yelling fire in a theater, so they're just expressing themselves.
I support everybody's rights for freedom of speech, even if I agree to it or not.
Nice.
Because at the end of the day, rights.
And there's a Bill 168 that already passed the first reading in the provincial legislature.
Wasn't that March? One day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They passed it, and basically you can't criticize or talk about communism anymore, because if you do, it'll be anti-Semitic, okay? Because it's one of those things, because they ran Russia. People don't know that, but they did. And that's what the people that killed 66 million Russians, the leadership were Jewish there. You know what I mean? And they say that you can't talk about that now, because that's the religion that's protected.
Wow.
This is Canada. This isn't Israel, I think.
Amen to that. That's exactly what I thought.
Exactly. I'm no bigot. Besides, I'm part Jewish myself. I found out late in life. It's actually funny. So, to hell with them. I say what you want to say. If they don't like it, they can leave.
Amen to that,
Yeah.
man. Across the board, amen to
Right
that.
on. Thank you very much for attending today.
Thank you very much for coming and for getting us out there, and hi.
You've got very, very good attitude when it comes to freedom. A very, very strong attitude.
I'm a proud Canadian. I'm disappointed in my government, and I'm doing this for every one of my Canadian people.
Well done.
And our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to come.
Nice. Well done.
I love my country. I love my people.
Well, I do too. I mean, there's a lot of losers here too that's always vote for the same parties that get us in trouble all the time. I'm trying to beat that, but it's not easy to do.
You know what, man? It really isn't. It's like, it really isn't. There's a lot of work that comes into that, you know? When you step into it, that can't be that much work, and then you're into it, like, damn, it really, really is.
I've been in 7 elections, like 6 federals and provincial, and the newspapers don't give us the advertising that they give the other guys. As a matter of fact, they try to make me sound like a racist, these idiots, you know what I mean? Because
They take something and they fold it and they stretch it out.
Yeah.
And then they fill into lies that make it look like it's their own agenda, you know, to suit their own agenda.
Yeah. most
Censorship is real, and it's a gross thing to go through in Canada.
It'd be nice to have freedom from a lying press.
Amen.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Let's hope that will come sooner than later.
Yeah, well.
Because if that can become a reality, then our country will become better.
I think that the press should go down with the leaders that are guilty right now, because they're the ones helping them by lying to us.
Exactly. There's a little thing that, oh my God, there was almost an accident.
Really?
There was almost an accident. Oh. Those two cars literally just hit each other. But, you know, there's a thing going around. If you turn off the TV for 30 days, half of our problems will go away, right? Says a lot about the media, baby.
That's pretty much what it is. They still tell us that they lend our money out to, for lending, that they use our savings. They don't do that. Banks print money.
Oh, I know.
It's ridiculous, and because people don't know, they figure, we're always in a deficit, And
who do we owe the money to?
Shows up. What's that?
Who do we owe the money to, though? This is our planet.
They talk about it's the international bankers.
I know about the Rothschilds, but I'm just stating as an open statement. Who do we owe money to?
Yeah.
This is our planet.
Yeah. Why don't we just print ourselves like we're allowed to, right? Exactly. We could back labor. Back currency with labor.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do. It's worth something. It's worth more than a chunk of gold. If someone saves your life.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Any form of labor there's not a value for that.
That's right. And with the civil service, you can fund it by printing money. That's how you can, without having to pay tax.
Exactly.
And you'd have better services than you could ever imagine, because there's an unlimited money at your disposal at that point. The bankers have an unlimited money they can put into existence. The people don't realize that.
I know.
They think it has to come out of their paycheck.
And I'm actually really shocked at how many people don't.
I tell you, I've run for years on it. I'm not exactly quiet about it. And
keep speaking.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you mean go home? You go home.
The situation.
Sorry.
The situation has improved, though. I gotta say, more people like like 10 years ago, I would have passed out if you were telling me the stuff you tell me. It's wonderful.
Just keep planting seeds.
Yes, that's right.
Because even though we have quiet people, it's being planted, right? And they'll sleep on it. It might take a while for the seed to blossom, but it's planted. Keep planting, baby.
Well, I'm waiting for the day when us really nice people turn into really angry bastards. And then there's going to be the other side of the coin, and it's going to be like, what the hell happened here?
I'm waiting for that moment, too, because let me tell you, I'm an overly aggressive person in general.
Well done.
And I'm waiting for that moment where I can...
express yourself.
I do my expression.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I have to be here to keep face, but everything has a process, right?
Also, no, you're doing perfectly well. At a time like this in our nation's history, if we had a few million people like you, these guys would be done, okay? Done.
Yep.
It's a pleasure to have met you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Right on. Thank you very much.
I'm not afraid of my Canadians.
Online information?
I've got Maple Party. I got Who Got So sorry.
Adam,
I'll get the camera. I'll get the side too.
Where is it going?
This is Brantford News, and also it's Rebellion Party. I have 2 channels. It's not like one of them's so good that it overflows the other one. It just has different topics, but it's almost the same. Some of the stuff that I cover, because I'm trying to educate the people of Brantford. Because 30,000 voted for Conservative, 30,000 voted for Liberal. That's retarded, because these guys are wrecking our lives. I don't want to sound like Greta Thunberg, but they're ruining our future, these guys.
They are. Not even our immediate future and then our distant future.
Absolutely. You don't buy money.
All of us.
You don't buy money from a bank for more than it's worth. That's what interest does, right? You print it for cost. When you borrow a hammer, you don't bring back 1.5 hammers, you bring back a hammer, exactly.
Right.
Because in a world like that, there'll never be enough money to pay the debt because the interest has never ever been created.
So Brantford News.
Try to get yes.
That's what I type in.
Yes, yep. Brantford News and Rebellion Party. I'll put it on both of them.
Rebellion Party. Okay.
Thanks very much. I'm trying to be in the picture there.
Am I moving too much? Look, save our economy.
There you go. I was thinking about one that says "Kill millions, stay home."
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah.
Greatly and deeply appreciated.
Yeah, it was good.
It's nice to have, the people that hate on us and that destroy us, and then we have our supporters.
Without you, it wouldn't be anything to cover, so it's good that you're here.
We're in this together.
Oh, we are.
We can do this together. We're all here together. We all are part of a puzzle, and we're each an individual piece.
Absolutely.
And we all have our spots, and we all do this together. We all cannot do this without each other.
No, that's true. Like I've got a good platform, but if nobody votes for me and helps me, then we're going to lose every time.
I was shocked actually.
What's your name? Leslie Borey. Look for the bad man. They're calling me the bad guy pretty much in Brantford because
I like that, man. It just means that their voice is different.
That's right.
And different is what saves us.
Yeah, because the same ain't going to do it, because that's going to keep us going in the same direction.
Look at how history has repeated itself. It's gotten us nowhere, and we're still struggling in 2020.
Absolutely. Doing the same thing over and over, they call that crazy, right? And expecting the same different result.
Exactly.
That's the other half of that. Thank you very much again. It's a pleasure to meet you. You too.
It's like
Thank you.
Tiger died. The reason I started Tiger died, and
I'll see you guys. The crowd's thinning out a little bit.
Who wears his
There's a few more signs around here.
I don't know that I'll see you next week, bitch. Yes, honey. Thank you.
There's a sign here. Let's go and catch up. Nope, she's walking away. Zoom on that. Here, I'll see your sign if you don't mind. I'll put it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, sure. So do the front and back.
You got her.
Is this one?
Free to choose abortion, but not vaccination. Think about it. Good call.
And?
Your forebears fought for your freedom, and your kids can't use the playgrounds for... Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Good points.
You see that side swipe that happened?
No, is that one of the cars all crumpled up? I didn't hear. I heard.
Yeah, there was a taxi in one lane, and the other driver, somebody who witnessed it a bit more closely, they said that his stupid mask was blocking his peripheral vision, got up in his eyes.
Oh.
He went to change lanes and went sideswiped the taxi.
Oh, the mask almost got someone killed, did they? Well, there's a...
Yeah, of course they'll blame us for
Yeah, what a
distracting.
coincidence there.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty bad. Didn't see the other guy's vehicle.
No, I was wondering, I didn't think they made contact. But apparently they did. I think people are starting to leave pretty soon here.
Yeah, they're starting to disband. What time is it now anyways?
I don't know. But they said that last week they had about 600 people out here.
Oh, it wasn't that many.
No?
No. Okay, it's 20 to 3 just about.
Oh, that's almost the time then.
Yeah.
Nah, it's good to see.
Love these guys who are pro-guns.
Yeah.
In their fatigues and everything. And
I just like them. I just like the idea of them floating that kind of thing around right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
They've got balls to be.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need.
Yeah. Real men.
Well, that's what's going to come down to. We're like I think a peaceful change might not be possible.
Nice sign. Good.
Thank you very much.
Rosa, do you want me for Facebook?
Thanks a lot. Good day to you.
So
definitely eating them.
Places that sell your legs will have like a giant leg instead of like a flesh leg.
How are you? Would you on YouTube?
No, thank you.
Your sign. What's WG1, WGA?
This one is a Funang. Actually, no. My first book I was here, I got it from someone else, and I got it more for
keep your face out of
this side. But
Take care.
QAnon, apparently they are rooting out all the corruption in what they call the deep state in the USA. Supposedly they're doing it worldwide too, but the USA is more known, and they haven't gotten to Canada yet. But that's according to my friend that believes in it. I'm more skeptical, so that's why I'm.
I was going to ask you about it. The reason being, I like the idea of it. I wish it was real. Do you think it's possible they're just telling people about the Q so that they don't fight for themselves and they wait for someone else to do it for them?
I do believe that's a possibility, and that's why I'm not really promoting.
Yeah, but I like it. I watched the video about the 35,000 kids, but they didn't show anything about that on there at all.
I did, however, see a news report that some child pornography ring was busted, or sex trafficking ring was busted. So I don't know if, like, I've seen both sides. I mean, but until I see a massive evidence of it happening, I remain skeptical about that.
Me too. I don't know what they're doing. Even with the our provincial and federal leaders and stuff like that, the big pedophile. Maybe it's possible, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think people are going to have to fight for themselves and fight for each other once they get to like each other again.
Yeah.
Right now we've been divided because the press has been race baiting and gender baiting everybody.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
Baiting everything, baiting except for a fishing hook.
The quote woke left, a lot of them are like, oh, you're conspiracy theory, you must be far right and stuff, and it's just ridiculous because the conspiracy theorists, they believe both parties are controlled by behind the scenes people anyway, so they're non-partisan really. But it's all propaganda to get us to fight each other rather than unite and stand up against the real corruption.
Most certainly. This is bringing people together, I think, though. I like it. It's a bad thing that's happened to us, but I think they've made some big mistakes, these guys, by doing this, and people are starting to bond a bit and gel as a team. And I'm looking forward to the day when we overcome this tyranny.
Yeah, that's true. I think they've stepped too much into the light, where a lot of people, it's a lot more obvious to a lot of people, even some of my more skeptical friends.
Absolutely, and then people are learning that banks print money. They don't lend out your savings. And what they do is they sell you the money for more than it's worth because of interest. You know what I mean?
How long can that last?
Well, that's why they might have done this, because when 2/3 of Canadians were within 2 weeks of going down the toilet, and it would have fallen, and they would have had nothing to explain it with. But now they can say, oh, it was the beer bug, or the cold, or the flu, or the SARS-type disease, or whatever it is. You know, and they scared everybody.
Meanwhile, they're conditioning and controlling us and taking away all our liberties, right?
Yes, they are.
It's a scam-demic.
And I made a video once, and basically the gist of the video was people fear their government more than they fear this disease.
Yes.
And I'm in that mode.
I was never afraid of the virus. I was always afraid of the government and
how the power,
the new
how
world
we're
order,
letting them take power.
behind the government, the real threat.
Yeah.
Not the front men. Like, I mean.
I know. I'm afraid. I'm not afraid of the thing too. I'm afraid of the complacency. Our children.
Yeah, that scares me too.
Yeah. They're all just agreeing with all this, and you know, there's no life left. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no life left.
They
first
really,
thing is open our churches. God help us.
Yeah, they've really dumbed us down. They destroyed religion, and so there's a lot of resistance that would have been there in the past.
It's not destroyed yet. They're going to open up our churches.
Oh, it's still
and
there.
We're praying rosary, and Mother Mary Mother Mary will triumph. You know, the devil will be stamped on. The snake. You know, there's a snake at the bottom of the statue.
I think Christians. I think they should.
When Christians unite, because if you're a Christian, you don't go ahead with this. You know what I mean? If you're a Christian, you know that God created us all equal. He even gave us the ability to right or wrong. You know what I mean? He gave us that will, that free choice will. That's how much He loved us. So here we are in our lives in society, and all our rights are being stamped on. We're infringed on, like freedom of speech,
movement. Like I told you the example at Lady York with those arrows. I flipped out. You should have seen me. The whole, and then I go, I'd like to speak to the manager. I go, yeah, I'm sure somebody will pass it on to the manager, you know. And then this lady comes and says, you know what, you can't scream. I go, I'm screaming because I'm against what you guys are doing, and I won't shop here anymore. You go, good, don't shop here. And she goes, okay, if you lift up your voice a little more, we're gonna have to call security. It's like, oh my god, you know, and it's yeah, and it's
just for being loud.
yeah, just for speaking up for what I was saying. And the thing is, you know what, lady, let the manager kick me out. And it's just a lady at the door, probably a recent immigrant, who's telling me to keep my voice level down, to leave. Imagine. It's also like, oh god. So anyway, stepping on all our freedoms, it's like this is so, and we're all like accepting it, like we're all like, you know, sheep to the slaughter. Like,
well, you mentioned God earlier. Maybe we don't need God. We got Doug Ford now.
I know, eh? He's like I can't stand him. He's so awful. He's just he's agreeing. He's part of the pandemic with Soros and Trudeau and Gates and you know, all of them. He's just.
You've seen Event 201 then.
What's that? No, I just know that he's.
Oh yeah,
no,
basically what you just said is on video in October from New York. They planned this.
Yes.
Or planned something like this.
Yeah, we call it the pandemic. Everybody's coming to their senses.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
If you have half a brain, you'll realize this is all planned out. Like this is all, you know, like even in Dairy Queen, I was working part-time. All of a sudden, when this thing started, the next day they had it's like they knew it was coming in. They had like a little computer thing for ordering in and you know, like delivery, and they never had that before. It's like it's been.
That's
and I was shocked.
Great story.
Yeah.
You notice how like this lockdown just instantly went into effect and like almost overnight, and it's like. When has the government like moved that fast? Like they obviously planned this.
Oh, when they want to move fast, they move fast. They've obviously planned it out.
If they cared about us, they wouldn't throw soldiers on the street. They wouldn't make seniors hungry and things like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they really cared, it was something else. But what you said, how they kind of edged us towards this situation, I noticed.
Like the schools, they're all online now. The universities. How could that have happened so
quickly? And the signs and stuff. I know. And also, about a year before this happened, when I went to get a haircut, they used to say, "Where do you live?" and all this stuff. And I said, "Why do you want to know that?" He says, "Because if someone gets the measles, they'll know who was here to trace the contact."
Yeah.
That was a year before. Yeah. Wow. And also my bank, a few months before this started, my bank started to separate the in-person kiosks from the ATM machine section, and then later they stationed a security guard to only let a few people in. They said it was because of bank robberies, and it was before the coronavirus was even out.
They were like, it was a pilot test. Pilot test.
I mean,
they're edging us towards this.
Yeah, I mean, well, the banks are controlled like by the top by the Rothschilds, so I'm not surprised. I'm sure that people are just following it's like, oh, it's just our new policy or whatever, and the lower ranks people don't
It's a globalist. It's just like when you call when you're with
Truth.
Spiritual beings is right. You know, you can't take away our spirit and our freedoms of living, our livelihood, of choice, of movement, of, oh my gosh, we're like robots? I don't think so.
Well, hopefully we're heavily armed
media
spiritual
distancing.
beings.
Yeah, I've been practicing that for about 7 years.
Stay that way. And maybe they won't kill us all. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And you know, even the visas, or any company, they're like forcing us to go online. You know what I mean? I don't do that. It stresses me out. It's been years now. It's been like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
they're forcing you to do everything. It's like I'm stressed. I'm old school. You know, I'm an old lady. I'm old school.
And I try to spend as little time online, and I go out to before this lockdown, dances, meditations, yoga, group yoga, and all this stuff. Because I didn't want to be at home in front of my computer.
Yeah, but yoga's not good.
Now they're forcing me to be.
I pray to
Well, thank you very much for your time, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really good to see you out here. A whole day like this. Well done.
God bless us, and hopefully.
Well, we can't let bad weather stop us from doing something.
God will take over.
Well,
Exactly.
I hope if this is second coming, he doesn't get his ass kicked this time and he kicks some ass. That's what I'm hoping. Seriously.
I think they're breaking up, so I think we'll head out.
That sounds good before we get sick out here. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you again. All right, everybody. It's Les Borey in Toronto, out in front of Queen's Park for Brantford News and the Rebellion Party channels. All right, everybody. We got a lot of thinking to do in the future about what we're going to do to be free again. I don't think they're going to give it to us for free. All right, guys. All the best to all you patriots out there, all you Canadians. Have a great day. Bye, guys.